Hello, my name is Brandon, and today we're going to be making Wuyi Mountain Big Red Robe Oolong using the gongfu cha method. I just got back from shopping a little bit at Verdant Tea today and bought some neat things because I was almost out of tea because I make it all the time, especially when I'm at school. So I did buy 2 ounces of the Wuyi Mountain Big Red Robe, so that's what we're making today. So it's kind of a medium oxidized oolong. It's going to produce kind of a neat very beautiful brown color. And then a pu'er cake, and as you can see, that's wrapped like your typical pu'er cake. So that'll be in a later video. I don't have everything that I normally have with me. I have an impromptu tray. I don't have like my yixing pot with me. That's at school. So when I'm back in a normal environment, we'll talk a little bit more in depth about what gongfu cha is. But gongfu cha is basically the art of making tea with skill. And so that's what we're doing today. So I'm just going to walk you through. This is the gaiwan here. So when you're using Chinese brewing methods, you're using less water. This is about 4 ounces, and more tea. So this is maybe 2.5, 3 teaspoons of tea. It's enough to kind of cover the gaiwan plus another layer on top of that. So, and you're making really short flash infusions, which is different as well. So we're only going to be infusing for maybe 10 seconds at the most. So I'm going to just show you and walk you through the process, and we'll see what this this Big Red Robe is. I've had their Big Red Robe, but I haven't made it on my own. I've had it in their tasting room, so we'll see how that goes. So I just have some hot water right here. So what we're going to do first is that we warm everything up. That includes the gaiwan, the fairness cup, and the tasting cup as well. So everything gets warmed. Okay, everything gets warmed. And I'm going to go ahead and we're going to dump the tea in here. So as you can see, like I said before, that's enough to cover the bottom plus about an extra layer on top of that. So this is going to be called the rinse. With your oolongs, your blacks, and your pu'ers, you want to rinse most of your teas. I can already smell kind of this roasted, nutty aroma. You're going to want to rinse your teas. And so that is basically just to open up the tea leaves. And it also gets rid of any kind of dust or anything that might be there from processing. So we're going to go ahead and rinse the tea here. And at this point, if you're making the tea or if you're with someone making the tea, you go ahead and you smell it because it's absolutely amazing. I'm going to move this over here. So we're going to go ahead and warm everything up and then discard the waste because this is just a rinse. You don't drink the rinse. There's a neat saying in China where you give the wash to your enemies, the first infusion to your wife, and you save the second infusion for yourself. So now we're going to do the first real infusion. So again, you want to pour in about a circular shape, kind of creating that little vacuum. This is called making the tea dance. And it's got such a great aroma to it. It's just kind of this kind of nuttier aroma. It's definitely, as you can see by looking at the color, it's definitely a kind of a medium roasted oolong. So there are oolongs that are definitely darker than this, but it's a great one. It's kind of got a nice nuttiness to it. Now, at the first infusion, it's always going to be very light, and that's the point of gongfu cha, is that you want to extract a variety of different flavors over many infusions, whereas if you just put tea leaves in a pot and you infuse them, you steep them for maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes like people normally do in the West, you're extracting all these flavors at once and making a very rich, deep, complex cup of tea. But tea is very complex and has a lot of different notes, and so through the gongfu cha method like this, it's extracting those flavors differently over a variety of different steepings. So this tea is starting very, very light and will continue on to get darker and darker. So that's the first infusion. Again, you can do many infusions. I mean, you're talking upwards of 10, 15 infusions probably with this tea, if it's a good quality tea. And coming from verdant tea, it definitely is a good quality tea, and I'm very lucky to have them, a half-hour drive away. So, all right. Thank you for watching. In the future, we'll do a video on definitely with the yixing pot, using the ripe pu'er. And then we'll talk a little bit more about the gongfu method, a little more about gaiwans, what teas to use with them, and then, of course, with the pu'er, we're talking about the yixing and the process of using and seasoning a yixing teapot. All right. Until then, drink tea.